Gentleman yields back. I now recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Kennedy, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to take a moment to thank our witnesses for their service. Each of you has answered a call to protect your communities, oftentimes at risk of your own life, and to that, we owe you a debt of gratitude. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Officer Hodges for his heroic actions on January 6th, defending the very Capitol complex that we're currently sitting in. Thank you for being here, for your defense of our nation and our liberty, and for being there on that dark day and for speaking out about it since. Additionally, I want to acknowledge the tragic shooting of 2 National Guard members last week, Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf. Our hearts are broken and our nation is grieving. My heart is with Army Special Beckstrom's family during this devastating time of loss, and I'm praying for Staff Sergeant Wolf as he recovers from this senseless act. Every day, law enforcement officers willingly and heroically place their lives and their families' futures at risk. They keep our communities safe, promote the regular flow of people and goods, and protect the public from the dangers of everything from gun violence to acts of terrorism, working best when they're closely intertwined and connected with the communities and people they serve. Let me be very clear. Any violence, including attacks against our state, local, and federal law enforcement officers, cannot and will not be tolerated. In my district, a mass shooting on May 14th, 2022 by a white supremacist, racist terrorist killed 10 New Yorkers, including Lieutenant Aaron Salter Jr., a retired 30-year veteran of the Buffalo Police Department who made the ultimate sacrifice defending our community. My community is just one of many that have lost dedicated public servants in the line of duty. Across administrations, we've seen an uptick in both the number of officers who've experienced assault while on the job, as well as those brave souls who've tragically been killed. However, what's changed with this administration is the escalation by President Trump himself, creating dangerous, even lethal situations for both law enforcement officers and the people they protect. Democrats have warned time and time again of the dangers of this violent rhetoric, coming from a president who picks and chooses when to support officers based on whether or not it suits him. If it's to terrorize communities and detain American citizens, this president throws his full weight behind law enforcement. But if it's to prevent the toppling of the world's greatest democracy and the safety of our citizens, this president stands behind insurrectionists and even pardons convicted drug lords and other convicted criminals, rather than standing behind the brave law enforcement officers protecting our communities in the peaceful transfer of power. Furthermore, President Trump is defunding the police, systematically undermining public safety as we know it. And while he's making inflammatory statements insinuating the need to execute members of Congress, he's canceling counterterrorism grant programs designed to support state and local police, unleashing unnecessary and violent ICE raids in peaceful communities and residential neighborhoods, degrading and neglecting critical Homeland Security missions, proposing to slash budgets for the FBI, ATF, and DEA, and has done nothing to combat the scourge of guns on our streets that injure officers every single day. Taken as a whole, Trump's inflammatory rhetoric, his own unwillingness to follow the law, and his failed policies undermine officer safety and threaten the very communities they protect and serve. Officer Hodges, you defended the Capitol on January 6th and suffered severe injuries at the hands of an individual who's now free thanks to President Trump's pardon. What kind of message is the president sending to individuals looking to carry out violence against law enforcement personnel?
Pardoning people who assaulted myself and my colleagues, who attacked the Capitol, tells them that they can do it again, that they can do it with impunity, that they will face no repercussions for their actions. And unfortunately, that message is received loud and clear.